planning your dream wedding, only to have your parents demand that your star walks down Yo Your Eslao in a wedding dress before you. That was their plan. But what they didn't know is my husband and I had been planning something much bigger. A revenge so satisfying, they never saw it coming. I grew up in a home where favoritism wasn't hidden. It was practically celebrated. My sister was the golden child. The sun rose and set on her every word. And me. I was the scapegoat, the shadow, the forgotten daughter. If she accused me of something, no matter how ridiculous, my parents believed her instantly. If I accused her, they laughed it off or punished me too, just to be fair. My birthdays always had to be her favorite cake, never mine. Outings, wherever she wanted to go. Gifts, she always got more. It wasn't favoritism, it was a monarchy, and she was the queen. At first, she ignored me, but once she lost her friends at school, she made me her full-time target. She accused my friends of things they didn't do. Suddenly, I wasn't allowed to hang out with anyone. My parents said, "Why can't you be like your sister and enjoy family time?" The only people who saved me from total isolation were my cousins. And one day, at a family gathering, I let slip the truth that I wasn't allowed to have friends because my sister didn't have any. My extended family exploded on my parents. That day, I was punished for lying, but the damage was done. My sister switched schools out of embarrassment, but she never let me forget it. As teenagers, things only got worse. Every time I had a boyfriend, she would try to flirt with him. And when he rejected her, she told my parents that HE had been the one to make a move on her. And of course, they believed her. I tried pointing out the pattern. 2 boyfriends in a row, accused of the exact same thing. But that just made my parents say I had bad judgment. Eventually, they banned me from dating altogether. Meanwhile, when Seichi had a boyfriend, he was paraded around like royalty, until he dumped her. Then suddenly he was a villain. It wasn't just dating. She got more money, fewer curfews, endless freedom. Me, nothing. When I pointed it out, they always had an excuse. She was older. She was more trustworthy. She was smarter. But when it came time for college, the mask came off completely. My parents told me straight to my face, "We're paying for your sister's education. We don't have money left for you. It would be better if you just started working. And if I wanted to go to college, I'd need their approval before taking on any loans. Approval they'd never give. But here's the thing, by that point, I had stopped expecting anything from them. I had been quietly preparing for years, studying like my life depended on it, because in my mind, it did. And I did it. I got a scholarship, a full ride. I announced it on social media, thanked my parents publicly so they couldn't spin it later, and basked in the one thing they couldn't take away from me: freedom. College was my escape. I built my life away from them. My sister dropped out, moved back home, and worked with my mom thanks to nepotism. Meanwhile, I built a future, and then I met my husband. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not the confrontational type. I cry when I'm angry. I freeze up when I need to clap back. But my husband, he's the opposite. If someone wrongs him, he doesn't just fight back. He plans. He plots. He makes sure justice hits harder than the original insult. When we decided to get married, we wanted something small, affordable. We'd rather spend money on our dream honeymoon. Since my family was all in one place, we planned to do the wedding in my hometown, and that's when my parents dropped their condition. They told my husband to his face that they'd only pay for our wedding if my sister could walk down the aisle first, in a wedding dress, at my wedding, with her own pictures, her own moment. Basically, they wanted me to play second fiddle. At my own wedding, my husband could have exploded. He could have told them off. But instead, he played along. He told them I was controlling and didn't like conflict, so if they surprised me with it, I wouldn't dare make a scene. He said he'd handle me if they paid for everything. They believed him. They thought they'd won. That's when the real fun began. For months, my husband strung them along. Every decision about the wedding, he'd act like he was siding with them. He'd take my sister to taste menus, sigh dramatically, and say, "Well, OP doesn't want to abuse your generosity, so we'll stick to the cheaper option." Cue my sister demanding the BST, and my parents agreeing to pay. Photographer, they paid for the most expensive. flowers. They paid for the biggest, brightest arrangements. Drinks and food, top shelf. All because they thought they were secretly planning a double wedding. And the best part, none of it was in writing. My husband convinced them not to text or email about it, using their own words against them. He said, "You know how bad OP's judgment is. She checks my phone constantly. If she found out, it would ruin everything." So they kept everything verbal, nothing on paper. Then came the wedding day. My sister showed up in a wedding dress. Yes, really. My parents were giddy, ready to unveil their big surprise. But instead of her walking down the aisle, she was stopped by security. Security that we had hired. My sister and parents screamed, argued, begged. But with no proof, no contracts, no leverage, they had nothing. They weren't getting in. Not her. Not them. Meanwhile, my husband and I had the most beautiful day, surrounded by people who actually loved us, people who respected us. And when the dust settled, my parents had wasted thousands of dollars on Oh Your Dream Wedding. My sister never got her spotlight, and the golden child finally learned not everything revolves around her. That moment, watching security turn my sister away, while she stomped her feet in a wedding dress like a toddler throwing a tantrum, was pure justice. After years of being the shadow, the scapegoat, the forgotten daughter, I was finally the one in control. My parents' favoritism bought me the wedding of my dreams, and they weren't even allowed inside. Looking back, I don't think I would have had the strength to pull this off without my husband. He showed me that sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't about yelling or fighting. It's about patience, about strategy, about letting people dig their own grave, and then making sure they fall right into it.